Good day everyone, my name is Jonalyn Ellih, the first reporter of Module 8, which is the informative speaking. Objectives. At the end of this module, students are expected to categorize the informative speeches and identify the different speeches. Informative speaking generally centers on talking about people, events, process, places, and things. So, informative speaking generally centers talking or concentrates on talking about people or individuals, events or something that happens or supposed to happen, and places or things. It is often difficult to accomplish or end a task of telling the audience or listeners about one of these subjects by referring to those people, events, places, and things without being persuasive. Means persuasive is trying to convince or to believe. Additionally, informative speaking, the general purposes of this should be pretty obvious: to inform or giving information. It is something that contains useful, helpful, or relevant information or details. The purpose of informative speaking is informative speaking offers you an opportunity to practice your researching, writing, organizing, and speaking skills. You will learn how to discover and present information clearly. To become an effective informative speaker, you should include: first, avoiding persuasion, means avoiding trying to convince someone of something. Second, avoiding information overload, means the amount of information used or exposed to exceeds our processing capacity. And lastly, engaging your audience, means get the audience interested and give them a reason to listen. Reports, lectures, training, seminars, and demonstrations are all examples of informative speaking. Categorizing types of informative speaking by format. One way to categorize informative speaking is to consider the depth and range of what you have to present. So, in informative speaking, you are considered the depth, means covering many or all important points of a subject, and range means level to which something is limited of what you have to present or speak. Briefings. A briefing is a type of informative speeches you give when you need to condense a large amount of information. In informative speech, briefings is you need to condense, means you make your information reduced to a shorter form, the large amount of your information. A briefing is frequently used to condense information that individuals require. Stockbrokers receive daily briefings in business trends, and business executives and governmental leaders receive daily briefings from their staff so that they can keep up with the wide range of information that they are expected to know. In your classroom speeches, you might give up briefings on the result of a conference or a summary of all the laws that apply to a specific job. Reports. A report is the type of informative speech you give when you present information from any type of special investigation. So, a report is a type of informative speech that you give information when you present from any type of special investigation. Additionally, report means to repeat or relay information that a person has heard from another source or has gathered themselves. We students usually did this in classes. So that's all. The second reporter will be continued this topic.
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. I am Johari Hadjimanan, B1B, Oral and Communication. Ma'am, rise sa Dirangkal. Visual aspect. Visual aspect is ito yung way kung paano natin ni-deliver yung appearance, movement, posture, facial expression, and eyes contact natin, just like dancing. We all know that we must have a connection with an audience. So in behalf of that, while dancing, we will use visual aspect. Meron tayong dyan mga example dyan sa baba. pwede niyo yung basahin para malaman nyo. For example, is your appearance, dress and grooming usually appropriate for your audience? Auditory aspect. Auditory aspect naman is kung paano natin na-deliver ang volume, rate, pitch, articulation, and choice of language when we all saying. That's the time we use auditory aspect. If your volume effective loud enough to hear but not too loud. Ganyan siya. Speech is about objects. For the purpose of these types of informative speech, anything that is visible and tangible is considered an object. Object speeches seek to impact knowledge about this object to the audience. Speeches about processes. Process speeches are sometimes referred to as demonstration or how-to speeches because they often entail demonstrating something. These speeches require you to provide steps that will help you audience understand how to accomplish a specific task or process.
Good day. I'm Rhena S. Labadan. This is my report about speeches about event. Speeches about event. You would be given this type of information speech if your topic dealt with anything notable that happened, was happening, or might happen. The 1969 moon landing, a current election campaign, or the prospect of your favorite team winning the championship, to name 3 examples. Ang panimulang speech ay maaaring hindi ang pangunahing kaganapan, ngunit ang mga ito ay susi para makilala ng madla ang kanyang pangunahing tagapagsalita. Speeches about concept. Concept include intangible ideas such as belief, theories, ideas, and principles. If you give an information speech on existentialism, capitalism, or any other ism, you would be giving this type of speech. Ang gawain ng pagdadala ng ideya sa isang taong may kapangyarihang gumawa ng isang bagay dito ay tinatawag ng pitch. Ang mga ideya sa software na mga diskarte sa pagpapatupad ng screenplay ng pelikula, mga pagbabago sa organisasyon at mga planong sa negosyo, lahat ay tinatawag mula sa isang taong patungo sa iba pa. By purpose. We also distinguish among type of informative speeches depending upon the speaker's intention. We ask, does the speaker seek to describe, explain, or instruct? Ang mga speech ay karaniwang nagsisilbi sa mga 4 na pangkalahatang layunin upang ipaalam, hikayatin, turuan o aliwin sa pamamagitan ng pag-atras upang suriin ang pangkalahatang layunin ng speech. Pinapatibay ng isang tagapagsalita ang kanyang mga iniisip at ideya sa pamamagitan ng pagtiyak na ang lahat ng inahanap upang makipagtalo sa iyong kaso ay nakaayon sa pangkalahatang layuning iyon. Practicing the speech. When you choose the appropriate delivery style for that type of speech you are giving, the best way to make sure that you are on your way to an effective delivery is to practice your speech repeatedly and systematically. One way to do that is to go through as many of the following 5 steps as possible. First, present the speech to yourself to through the entire speech, including your example and form of support. In other words, don't just say this is where I present my statistic, or this is where I explain about photosynthesis. Tape record the speech and listen to it because we hear our own voices, particularly through our cranial bone structure. We are sometimes surprised at what we sound like to others. Third, present the speech in front of the mirror and watch your physically mannerism. Present the speech in front of a small group, a friend or relative or both. And last, present the speech to at least one listener in the same room, or if that room is not available, a similar room that you will present the final speech in. Upang maging mas kumpiyansa at kahit na alisin ang ilan sa mga nervyos, mahalagang maging handa ng mabuti para sa isang pagtatanghal. Ang pagsasanay ay maaaring pagtanim ng higit ng kumpiyansa sa isang tagapagsalita at makakatulong na makagawa ng isang pangkalahatang mas mahusay na pagsalita.